I just started walking and running and listening to positivity while I was doing all of that, and just kind of working through steps to be more positive and actually think about, where I want to be, what are my goals. Manifested a lovely new man.
Love that. That's exciting.
It is exciting. But anyway.
Welcome back to another amazing episode of The Chicks in Charge. I am Shasta.
And I'm Jess.
We have a super cool guest for you guys today. It is our very first international episode, and we are bringing you Karen Wheeler from Holt Automotive Recruitment. Karen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello. Hi, lovely to be here. I'm great, thank you. How are you guys?
We are wonderful. We have loved our quick chat powwow right before the show with you. We've learned so much about you. We're super excited to interview you on this episode today.
Me too. Happy to be here.
So tell us first off a little bit, in case, because you guys are UK based and a lot of our audience is in the US, tell us a little bit about what you do and what Holt does.
Okay, so I look after the recruitment consultants here who are basically talent partners for dealerships in the UK. So we provide technicians, service advisors, managers into car dealerships, truck dealerships, fleet companies, all those sorts of businesses. We've been operating since 2006. We've got a really great reputation here, but we want to grow. So we are coming to your neck of the woods.
So
exciting.
You guys are going to have operations in the US. What does that mean for the car dealerships here in the US?
So recruitment over there, I think, is slightly different. I see a lot of dealers who can use job boards and things to help them and pieces of software. But from what I understand from my research so far, there are way more recruitment consultancies here in the UK than there are in the US. And what we do is slightly different in that it's like a no-win, no-fee. So the guys only pay when we find them the right person that they want to hire.
Like that.
That's a super important setup in the automotive industry.
Yeah. So they're not screening CVs. They're not having to hold the candidate's hand to get them to interview, because that's essentially what we're doing is taking them through the whole process and getting the end result. And then the dealers only pay for that end result.
Cool. So how long have you been with Holt?
So I've been here since 2021.
Okay.
So I used to work, I've been in recruitment actually since the year 2000. It's a really long time. And I was in hospitality recruitment for many years. But then obviously COVID hit. It was a really tricky situation for me because I'd recently separated from my husband. I've got 2 girls. I'm effectively a single parent.
Wow.
And when I split off from my husband, that was late 2019, I knew what I could afford to do, based on the role that I had and the commission I was earning. But of course, COVID, it just wiped out everything, particularly hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a real low point, really, really low, worrying about how you're going to cover everything, very much on your own, but you can't show that to your kids, can you? You just got to do it. So, yeah. So I kind of picked myself up and decided I wasn't gonna be down, and I actually manifested this job. I did lots of listening to positive podcasts. I love podcasts, so I was listening to lots of positivity podcasts and did a vision board. And on my vision board was this bright, vibrant office and a new management team. And then Stuart Holt, my now boss, he put a post on LinkedIn saying he was looking for a recruitment and training manager. And I was like, that's my job. So I joined to recruit and train our recruiters. And then eventually he asked me to take over running the automotive team. And yeah, here we are now.
That's a super neat story. So tell me a little bit about how you mentioned that you were in a low time and how you kind of manifested this job. What did all of that entail for you as far as really bringing yourself out of that dark place that you were in?
I think, so I'm a really positive person. And so I was really acutely aware that this is not me. And, those days where you want to stick your head under a duvet, and everyone has low days, of course they do. But I generally hadn't ever had anything like that. And I just sort of thought, I can let this suck me down. And so I just started moving, because exercise is really good, isn't it, for your mental well-being and everything. So I just started walking and running and listening to positivity while I was doing all of that. And just kind of working through steps to be more positive and actually think about, where I want to be, what are my goals. Manifested a lovely new man.
Love that. That's exciting.
It is exciting. But anyway.
So I want to get back to you guys bringing the recruitment agency over to the US. What led you guys to that decision and made you guys say, hey, this is the move we're going to make? And how big was that for your entire team?
Okay, massive. So we're all quite big on travel. We love to explore and see different parts of the world. And we want to grow the business. And to attract good people into your business, you have to give them opportunities to do things that they wouldn't normally do. So our strapline, which you kind of see behind me, is anything but ordinary. So we wanted to have offices in different parts of the world so that people could join us, knowing that there was a path to travel and maybe live and work abroad if they wanted to, or just do something a bit different. That's really where it kind of came from. And then obviously the market is so different in America to here. There's lots and lots of opportunity, whereas here we're quite saturated. I think there's as many agencies literally here as there is in the US. So if you think about the competition and
you guys are much smaller,
right?
Much smaller. So it's like we're like a state, aren't we, here compared to size? So yeah, that was the kind of decision. Let's start it. So we're doing East Coast at the moment because we can do that from here. The guys work different hours, so that you can work from anywhere, though, can't you, with this kind of role? So yeah.
What are some holes in the market in the US in comparison to the UK that you guys are seeing?
What I was kind of just about to ask.
Well, okay. So what do you mean by holes?
Like, what do you see? Like, currently, you guys have had to do a lot of research into the U.S. business. So, in the UK, this is the position we have to fill for the most, whether that's sales, techs. What are you seeing the difference is in the U.S. with the research you guys have started doing before going live?
Yeah, it's also techs.
Gotcha.
It's
what do you
techs.
think the reason is?
Everywhere. So I know from here, we have an apprenticeship scheme where young people can train and work in businesses and then obviously learn a skill and then get a qualification. And the government at the time, I think it's maybe 10, 15 years ago, they cut out apprenticeships altogether. So there wasn't the stream of people coming in. Plus, you've also here got an aging workforce who don't want to be working on cars. They're kind of moving their way out of it. And so it's just the youngsters coming back up and through.
Right.
Is what's happening here. So
do you think that the pandemic had an effect on the reason that the tech shortage is?
I think the pandemic showed people that they could earn money working from home. And I think people, especially the younger generations, they try other things to earn money. It's great, actually. There's so many ways that you can earn a living without actually
you don't meet anybody anymore that just has a job.
I mean,
everybody has a job and some type of side hustle of some sort.
Yeah. Welcome to ours.
I know. Welcome to ours. We're doing it right now.
I'm actually really busy with my job to have a side hustle, but
oh my God. Like, how many hours are in a day?
Fall in your lap. You don't know what to do with it, and you're just stuck holding it. Like, okay, well, I either do something with it and I make it work, or I drop the ball and let everybody else down and myself down in the long run.
I love what you guys are doing there. There's so many, there's different aspects to it, but it all kind of ties in together. It's really cool.
Thank you.
It's really cool.
So this is a hot topic right now, as far as not just recruiting, but from what you guys are currently seeing in the research you've done, where are dealerships dropping the ball on retention?
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, it's the same here as well, and particularly what you find in job markets where there's a massive need and a shortage, you see then salaries going up and up and people just jumping for a salary. So but it kind of starts right at the start of the interview process, because there are flags that you can see for if someone is going to have the markers for that, like jumpiness on their CV. And you have to be really skilled at probing into why they've made the decisions to move and done the things that they've done, because past behavior is an indicator of future behavior.
Right.
So if someone has jumped to another role for an extra $1 an hour, then they're likely to do that again. And so you just have to be mindful. Be mindful of that is really important. So we train our guys quite hard here we screen the candidates well. I'm very aware that our clients pay for our service, and I'm not here to give them a technician that stays for 6 months and they go somewhere else. It's about a long-term bolt-in partnership where we're finding the people that actually are a good fit for the company, for culture, for the role, for the salary, for progression, for all of those things.
So what does that client or potential employee journey look like for you guys?
Client or employee? So when they come to us for a candidate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so lots and lots of communication. Communication is everything. I do my best to visit, which is why I'm so excited about coming to the US. We do our best to visit, because you get a real feel for the dealerships. Yeah, and the best relationships are made face to face. And I think it can be quite transactional, automotive. And so that's, again, where I like to be different, by being very relationship orientated, really consultative, not there for a quick buck. If I'm going to partner with you, I want to really partner with you, really understand your business and work with you over and over again, but really add value, and so they would come to us and basically give us a brief of what they're looking for. We will ask lots of questions to make sure we understand exactly what they're looking for, and then we'll start screening candidates. And so the interesting thing is the stuff that you don't see. So my guys are proactive. So we're not just putting an advert on Indeed and waiting for people to come in and then sending them over. It's way more than that. They are database building and churning and constantly speaking to people and keeping them warm, so that then if our client says, "Oh, I need someone," we go, "Oh, great. Yeah, this is who we've got." And they're ready. They're ready to go. And we're only speaking to automotive people. That's our specialism. So we understand broadly what they need before they even come to us, like what brand experience and all the levels and all those sorts of things. So then where we've been doing all that background work, getting those people in place ready, then we can provide the service as soon as the dealerships need it. So, and then it's constant feedback, because you need feedback all the way through the interview stage, sometimes even to get the candidate to interview, because they can, with the best of the world, be a little bit flaky. So we just hold everyone's hand all the way through, negotiate the offer. It might not be quite right on both sides. Sometimes we have clients that come in a bit low, and, then you can just be really honest and say, "Look, if you really want this guy, I'm not going to put that offer to him yet, because it's not where it needs to be."
Right.
So, whereas if they made that offer to the candidate and, insulted them with a low offer, then they wouldn't have that candidate. So we can kind of be that middleman and just get the best outcome for everybody.
Because especially in the auto industry, so much ego is involved.
Right.
So much of the time.
Yeah.
Do you guys stay involved with the candidate after they've been hired to check in, like how they're enjoying the job, things like that?
Absolutely. And there's been multiple times where we've uncovered like a little issue, like just a teething problem, and we've been able to then go back to the client and say, "Look, there's this issue." There was one the other day about uniform sizes. And the uniform size wasn't right, and for some reason there wasn't the communication at site, and so we were able to go in and just resolve that problem and stop it becoming a bigger problem.
Right.
So yeah, we will check in on the first week a couple of times, and then after about 3 weeks, and then we just we leave them then. Look, where you are. We are if you need us. But yeah, good luck with your.
What do you think sets Holt Recruitment apart from the competition?
Oh, great question. Do you know what? It's relationships, and I say this all the time, and my team are like, "Oh yeah, relationships," but it is, because if you build a good relationship with your candidates, they will be loyal to you. They won't let you down and not turn up for the interview. And if you build a good relationship with your clients, they'll come back to you over and over again.
Yep.
And it's all cyclical. And then your candidates eventually will become your clients, and your clients can become your candidates.
Absolutely.
So you just have to deliver a great service, do what you say you're going to do. And we're very honest and transparent here. I spoke to a client the other day who said, "Oh, I think you guys are all scammers." And I said, "Oh, it hurts me that you would say that, but actually, start working with me, and I'll prove to you that we're not. And that actually, I really do value delivering an excellent service. I think that's the other part. You know, if you are transactional and you're just chasing the money, you don't give a good service." And it will die out very quickly. But if you just focus on giving a really great service to your customers, it's the same for all industries, isn't it? You know, give great service and people will come back. So
right,
that's what I think makes us different.
I agree. And you were just in the U.S. at the Women Automotive Summit in Detroit.
I was. It was
just
great.
looked down at my paper and saw Germany, and I was like about to say Germany. Germany's in October.
That is the next one.
So that's super cool. You got to meet a really great friend of ours. I got
Jenna.
I did. She gave me a gift. I'm a
I'm so glad she was able to on our behalf. I'm so excited. And Jenna, if you're watching this, I am getting new pins printed for us, and I will send you one as soon as they are done.
I did say to her, I can't take that. She said, yes, you can. I'll just get another one. It's fine. I was like, all right.
That's what she said.
She'll hunt us down and find us.
She said that she would hunt us and find us and find us.
Yeah.
It was lovely chatting to her. So yeah.
How was that summit?
It was amazing. We are corporate partners of the Women Automotive Network, who started in the UK. The whole diversity and equality piece is really massive for this industry. I was on another webinar this week, and the statistic was something like 15% of the engineers this was in bus and coach, 15% are women. That was all. It's really low, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of ways that I can influence that. And I feel like because we're in recruitment, we are bringing people into the space, we should be able to have some positive influence there. So yeah, I was at the summit. It was great. It was really good.
We've talked to so many dealers, general managers that have some really amazing processes in place to hire quality candidates. I mean, I think about Ashley Church, Shasta, and our whole episode with her, Karen, just talking about how she gets the quality candidates in her store all the time, and her very intense process that she goes through to get it.
Yeah. You have to, and you have to just make really good decisions to start with, and then follow it through, because then it's the journey. It's all about the journey, isn't it? The customer journey, the candidate journey, but it's really important at all stages. So.
Right. Well, and dealers have to be aware of this when they're hiring. And even, on the vendor side, the partners, when they're doing their hiring, I heard it this morning somewhere, maybe it was yesterday, does your customer base reflect who you're trying to attract? Mm-hmm. And if the answer is no, then you need to change who you're trying to attract to work for you, because it needs to match your customer base.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, and that's our whole purpose is how do we get and retain more women in the automotive industry? And if I think about why I see a lot of them leaving, it's, they didn't feel heard. They didn't feel properly trained. They didn't feel like there was enough education available to them. And dealers have a lot going on, if I'm being honest, and I'm not coming to their defense, but they have a lot going on, trying to run a store, buying vehicles, making sure that everyone's freaking happy. And so think about even something as, I can't even say as small as, but as big as forward education. Yeah. It's on us. It's
much earlier, isn't it? It starts.
Yep. It's on every individual that if you want to be better, do better, learn more, you've got to chase it yourself. No one's going to hand it to you. No one's ever going to put you first as much as you put you first. Yeah. And so we want to share those resources with these people, and especially these women in the industry, as to these are the connections that you need to make to get you to that next point.
Yeah, and I think it's even as far as, like in schools, identifying, engineering is a sector that you can go into as a female if if you're that way, because I think it's a certain, people are built a certain way, aren't they? Like, I'm clearly a salesperson. That was always going to be my path. But, I know people who have that kind of technical mind, but those paths aren't quite as open for women as they should be. So we just try and clear those paths. And I'm really trying to think hard about ways that I can leverage what we do here to try and encourage more young women to look at automotive, because I hadn't even thought of automotive. And honestly, when
anybody thinks of automotive,
our last episode just talked about it. Yeah, where everybody just kind of stumbles into this. And I think we talked about what one of the biggest words that was at the Women in Automotive Conference was intentionality. So now we have to be intentional with bringing women into this space. And Jenna's doing a great job at Northwood University, working alongside them to help bring young people into the business. And that's something that we've heard about across certain parts of the U.S. is that certain universities and even high schools, people are going in, giving classes on what it takes to be an automotive tech. You don't have to go to a 4-year college. Maybe you just go to a trade school, or you can start off being a lube tech, and the opportunities that are there for them if they enter via that sector. But are we doing the same thing for the other sections of the dealership, the office, the sales team, the BDC even?
Yeah. Well, it's always been, certainly here, car salesman, isn't it? And it's one of those kind of sectors that you think of as being quite
sales manager.
Yeah. And I used, when hospitality was obviously very, very diverse, hugely diverse, and fairly equally split, I believe. And at first I thought, oh, auto, yeah, that's quite manly. And so it's interesting being like a female leader in that space, because a lot of the clients that I'm speaking to are men. But I've got some great female consultants on my team who, do a phenomenal job in the automotive sector. So
and so often it's just having the conversations about it, because, for example, over last weekend I was visiting family out of state, and we were talking about automotive and really struggling for technicians. And so I came back, and I think it was yesterday, my niece texted me and said, guess what? I just got a job as a detailer. And I said, you did? That's amazing. She goes, you know why? She said, I got a job as a detailer because I knew that I couldn't be a tech, and you told me that auto was needing new technicians. So I went to do the first thing that I could in automotive.
Amazing.
Niece, and she's 21.
Yeah, amazing.
I made one comment the entire time that I was in Idaho about it.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
Cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a task that all of us have to just be really mindful of. But it's really good. There's so much comment about it at the moment, isn't there? So I think change is definitely coming, and the Women Automotive Networks, all of them are doing a great job. And the summit in Detroit was really good, really enjoyable. I met some amazing people who I'm still in touch with, and it was really good.
Awesome.
Will you be at the summit in Germany in October?
So that's closer for me. That's like a little hop, not quite as a big hop over to you guys. Thinking about it. I would like to. Need to see what I can sort out. Are you guys coming? You should come.
Well, if anybody wants to sponsor
listening
to go to Germany,
we would love to.
Someone definitely should. You should come. Have you guys been to Germany before? Have you been to Europe before?
Nope. Never crossed the pond.
Nope.
Oh, you have to. There is some.
I want to.
Be a blast.
My dream vacation is in Italy. So
mine too.
I have so much in Europe I want to do.
Yep.
Yeah, Italy is one of my favorite places. It's you must come and do a little tour.
Yes.
So Karen, one more question before we start wrapping up here. You said that you have 2 daughters and you were a single mom for quite some time. Now you've been in automotive for how many years now?
3.5.
Okay, so you've been in automotive for 3.5 years. Would you encourage your daughters to choose a path in automotive?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely I would.
Do you think that is in their future?
In fact, my eldest, she could sell cars. She's got the gift of the gab, sometimes too much. And my younger one is way more technical and intricate. So yeah, I absolutely would.
I love that. If you could give out, this is something that I think we forgot that we ask sometimes. Today's our first day, like actually recording podcasts since we left Women in Automotive, and that's been about a month ago. So we're out of the habit, and so we're like, oh crap, we forgot to do this. So if you could give a piece of advice to anybody who is new to the industry, man, woman, young, old, what is something that you would tell them to hopefully encourage them to maybe try to build a career here?
Just learn as much as you can from the people around you. In my career, I've certainly picked people that I think, okay, that you can tell, like the star performers, can't you, in any establishment? What do they do? Watch them, learn from them, try and emulate what they're doing. It might be, behaviors, attitudes, all of those things. And from like a management perspective, I said it to one of my team today, anything that you do over and above what you kind of have to give, always is noticed, always. And I will give so much more to the people that give a little bit more. And so then I think I've always done that in my career. And so I've got more because I've given more. So that's a couple of bits of advice. Sorry.
No,
I liked it.
Where can people reach you if they want to learn more information about you personally and connect with you personally, or about Holt Recruitment?
I would love people to connect with me personally. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Holt Automotive Staffing. Karen Wheeler, you can add some links somewhere, I'm sure, can you?
Yeah, we'll add your LinkedIn profile. We'll add all that.
Everything's down in the show notes.
Yep. Amazing. So yeah, just really happy. I would love to give back. So if I can give any advice on recruiting or retention or interview skills, anything like that, CV writing for candidates, really happy to help anybody that needs some help.
As a random fun fact, I just want you to know that it was like probably less than 12 months ago that I just learned what a CV was.
Oh, sorry, resume.
Yep. No, I don't know. I saw it on TV or something, and I'm like, what the F is a CV? And I had to literally Google it, and I was like, why did they just say resume?
Oh, sorry. What else have I said? There's a few.
I just thought it was a fun fact. I assumed everybody else knew.
Resume. If anyone needs help with their resume, give me a shout.
I imagine a lot of people probably do.
For sure.
Sure. Honestly, drop me a line. God, can you imagine if I'm inundated with thousands of resumes to deal with?
You might be now.
Sorry.
Careful what you wish for.
Will you be in the States anytime soon?
Oh, I hope so. So there's another women network that I'd like to join. Was it Jess? Was it you talking to me about something in New York? Was it you talking to me about that? Like a lunch in New York?
Oh, yes. We have Women in Automotive Social in New Jersey.
In August. Isn't it?
1st.
Yeah.
1st of August. You should definitely be there.
I'm trying to see if I can
dinner.
I know.
Big trip.
But it would be really cool.
It would be cool.
So I kind of have that in my but we actually, I've had a few invitations to come over and meet clients already. So
that's awesome.
I would hope that we are. I'm definitely back over there a couple of times before the end of the year. So yeah, maybe see you in New Jersey.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Love that.
I'll do my best.
All right, Karen. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hop on here. I really enjoyed chatting with you. In a world where you can be anything, be kind, because you never know what battles others are facing. So while out in the world this week, remember to light it up. I'm Jess.
I'm Shasta.
And that's Karen. And we've been the Chicks in Charge. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yay, you've made it this far. And if you want to help the chicks out and add some value, make sure you subscribe right now.
Click that little red button down below. Do it. Do it now.